every basket that we have, we'll want a shooter at about 15 feet for the younger guys, okay? With our older guys, we may move them back to the three-point line depending on what we're trying to work on for the day. All right, but we want our shooter to start in the corner. We want a guy underneath the rim on the opposite side of the shooter, okay? Because most of our rebounds in basketball, of course, always come off to the opposite side of the rim. And then we want a passer about middle of the free throw line to the extended to the key area, okay? Now this is a drill that is a shooting drill, but we get to work on three facets of the game as well, okay? We get to work on the shooting, we get to work on the rebounding, and we get to work on the passing. So what we're going to do for this drill is we're going to start a guy in the corner. Now we can do this drill, we can do it stationary, or we can do it on the move. We'll start with stationary here. Now with our shooter, what he's going to do is for about 30 seconds to 45 seconds straight, he's going to get off as many shots as he can. Now when we're stationary in our shooting, we want our shooters, we're a left pivot foot team, okay? So we always want our shooter to have his left pivot foot established, and we want that right foot back locked and loaded, okay? So that's how our shooter's going to be ready to catch every one of these shots. Now one of the most important things about shooting that is not taught very well at a younger level is the shot preparation before it gets there. All right, I think all the time we focus on the follow through and where our hands should be, but we don't work enough on the shot preparation. So what our shooters are going to do here is they're going to have their left pivot foot established. He's going to have his right foot back locked and loaded, and he's going to be in a low athletic stance with his hands ready to go, okay? Now these other two guys, the guy underneath the rim is our rebounder. All right, so rebounder, your focus for this drill is you're trying to go get the basketball off of the rim every time. You don't want the basketball to hit the floor, okay? Now sometimes it's going to because of a bad bounce, but this works on good instincts for our young kids. It gets them paying attention to where the rebounds are going to come off of the rim, and it allows us to have a focus and emphasis for a guy that's not our shooter. The guy at the top of the key is our passer, okay? He is going to receive the pass from the rebounder every time. Now again, put some emphasis on this passer, because what we found with our guys is if we don't focus on them and teach them how to do this, they just end up making bad passes, and then we build bad habits, okay? So our passer, we're looking for good chest passes to our shooter. We're going to step hard with our right foot, and we're going to really snap the basketball right where his hands are, and we're going to try to finish with our thumbs down. So when I step to the pass here, I want to snap it, and I want to finish with both my thumbs down, trying to hit him in the shooting pocket, okay? When you get to our level, at the varsity level, you know, the best teams we play, it's really tough to get shots off, so we need everything to be efficient, okay? So this is just our stationary two-ball shooting drill. Shooters, you're going to try to get as many shots off in about 30 seconds as you can, okay? Now, what we would do in practice is we would make this competitive. You can do it two ways. You can make it competitive in your group, so we could say these three guys are going to ultimately compete against one another, who can make the most shots. Sometimes the only bad part about that is if they're really competitive, they'll make a bad pass or two so that it screws their shooter. But if they're good teammates, they won't do that. The other thing we could do is we could make it competitive amongst all of our different groups. So we may say, okay, these three guys right here, they're each going to get a chance to shoot for 30 seconds, and we're going to add their three totals up. Okay? And then what we would do is we would put something on it. So we would tell the rest of the teams, you know, if your group lost, you're going to do 10 crunches before we get to the next drill, okay? Let's give this a shot. This is our stationary two-ball shooting drill. Passers, what do we do when we make a pass to somebody? What do we say? Yeah, we need to call their name, okay? Build those habits in practice. I can't tell you enough how important that is. So when they make a pass, they should be saying their name, from the rebounder to the passer to the shooter, okay? Rebounders, you got to really work hard on this drill. Because if you let a long rebound go and you don't get it, it screws up how many shots they can get up. And if you're on the same team with this guy, you want him getting up a bunch, okay? Any questions, guys? Okay, let's go for about 30 seconds here. I want to hear good communication. This gym should be loud when we're doing this drill, and our shooters should get that back foot locked and loaded. Make sure your left pivot foot, left-handers, yours will be the opposite. So you'd be a right pivot foot guy, okay? All right, are we ready? So pass is coming from the top of the key. Rebounder, you're then going to pass to the guy at the top of the key. Okay? Here we go. Ready, set, go. Get that locked and loaded, Spank. Okay? Nice and low. Good. Keep making great passes. And typically what we'll do then is we'll have our rebounder trying to keep track of the makes. Usually he's the guy that has the least amount to do here. But again, you can see that it gets their focus. Anytime you put competitiveness involved in any drill, it really gets these guys to lock in. Good. Make sure you're sitting low, Aiden. Make sure you're staying low. You're standing straight up. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low when you catch it. Stay low. Good. Okay, stop. Good. Okay, let's switch shooters. So let's go rebounder to passer, shooter to rebounder, passer to shooter. Okay. Now again, in this drill, of course, you would give everybody a chance to shoot there, and you can change up how you compete with that. But we really feel that making any of these drills competitive is maybe the most important thing. We're trying to create elite competitors here, and the more they can compete on a daily basis, the better. Okay. Now the second part of this drill is now we're going to get the shooter moving a little bit. Okay. Basketball is not a stagnant game. It's constant movement. Guys are constantly moving around the court, okay? So the only difference that we'll have here now, shooters, you're going to move from the corner to the wing, okay? So you'll shoot in the corner. As soon as you shoot, you're going to move yourself up the wing, and you're going to get ready to catch the next pass from the wing, okay? So passer, the other thing this does for you is it changes up your passes, all right? Short passes to long passes. Rebounder, your job doesn't change, okay? You just try to go get the basketball off the rim. If it goes through the net, you're trying to catch it, try to keep it off the floor, okay? Now, one of the things that we have to do, again, focus on our shot preparation. When I catch and take a shot here, all right, I need to get myself moving, and when I catch here, I need to be left pivot foot established again, okay? A lot of times we get some habits out of young kids that when they come to their left, they want to get a right pivot foot. Well, it changes up the mechanics. We made the decision here we were going to be a left pivot foot team. So as I'm locked and loaded, I shoot, I'm coming up the lane, I'm going to get my pivot foot, and I'm going to square up and shoot. And then as I come back over here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get locked and loaded, and I'm going to shoot, okay? Shooters, any questions on that? All right, again, listen, focus on the communication. Passers, rebounders, get the ball off the rim. Shooters, get as many as you can, okay? Back and forth between the wing and the corner for about 30 seconds. Ready? Go. We got to make good pass, Colin. We got to catch it with two hands. Peyton, go catch everything with two hands, okay? Establish that left pivot foot. Establish that left pivot foot. Get that on the ground. There you go. Good. Left pivot foot. Good. And what you'll see a lot of the times with your younger kids is they sometimes like to catch on the hop. That's where we get 2 feet at the same time, and you'll see Peyton doing it a little bit here. That's okay. Sometimes it can actually allow the ball to get off the rim a little quicker when they catch on the hop. But as they get older, we want them to predominantly become a left pivot foot team, okay? Stop. Okay, so that's our 2-ball shooting with 3 guys. And again, put the emphasis on all the little things that the other guys away from it are doing.